See other program. Next program is another common, even for developers also mostly asked question. This one. The highly, lead code problem. This one. The lead code problems means right. It's a highly desirable and mostly asked questions in the interviews. So the question is, you need to find out uh, the given string has a valid parenthesis or not, valid brackets. Basically, valid brackets we call that. So given string has valid brackets or not, we need to find out. So how can we find that? That's one program we'll write. Then we'll go for the strings. Okay. One more properties file program. This one program is I want to explain this. And also there is one more program also. You need to find the in the given string the max length so that non-repeated characters max length you need to find out. So that's another program also. A lot of programs they will give, but ultimate goal is the collections you should know, strings you should have a fair idea on all the methods. Then you can solve the any kind of program. Okay, this also now on the collections only, but the stack based. This is the stack based. I'm going to do that. But a stack and combinedly string methods. You're going to use a string methods. So the program is so write a program to check, right? Write a program to check a given string has valid parentheses, valid brackets or valid parentheses. So valid parentheses or not, you need to check. For example, if you see this one, curly bracket, square bracket, and this one. So this is having a valid parenthesis, right? So then you should return true. Okay. So if the string has a valid parenthesis, valid brackets, you should return output as a true. Okay. So this is the one. Or you can just say it has a valid parenthesis, valid string, that one. So that's what we need to check. So how can we check this? So basically, I'm going to use the stack collection concept, and I'll check each character. I'll get that, and I'll know this character is, if this character is there in the string, okay, then so I'll I'll see the stack has, you know how stack works, right? Stack works based on the LIFO concept, last in first out, last in first out. So basically we are going to use few methods, push, peek, pop. These are the methods we're going to use. So let me give a brief idea about these methods, what their main agenda of this push, peek, pop, what they will do. So if you go to our blog, so you will get stack collections. So you should understand before explaining these methods, what is push, what is pop will do, what is peek will do. You should have a fair idea on that. So that's why I'm just explaining here. See here you have. So in the linked list, I have provided them peek. So what peek will do? Retrieve the first element of a stack, either list or stack. Okay. The peek method will retrieve the first element in the stack or in the list, whatever it is. Then we have a pop. Pop is, so basically it pops an element from the stack represented by list. Basically, it will pop it. So it will remove that element. It will get and remove that element from the stack. That's a pop. Push. Push is basically it pushes the element into the stack. It pushes the element into the stack. So that is what this three methods we are going to use to find out. Even you have a isEmpty method. IsEmpty method also you can use to check that. Okay. So that's what the stack methods. And if you see the stack methods even, so stack methods, let me give you even ChatGPT will give you nicely for us. Can you explain about stack methods, pop, peek, and push method? Okay, so these are the very important. So it will give you for us very clearly. See, push, you can push the element into the stack. Adds an element to the top of the stack. So you can create a stack. So stack.push, 10 stack.push means this element you are so pushing into the stack. It will be on top. So basically see first you enter 10, right? Then 20. So 10, 20 it will be shown to your stack. So pop means basically removes and returns the top element of the stack. If the stack is empty, this method usually throws an exception, empty stack exception. So push and then top, stock.pop. So it will return 20 because this is the top one, right? Because the last in, first out. So the last one is this one, you push it to the stack. So that 20 you will get it. So when you call the pop. So that is the, so see now this one is removed, 20 is removed because you called the pop. Pop will return the top one and so return the stack with only one element. It has only one element. Peek. So the peek is, so it is the top element of the stack without removing it. So that's the difference you need to understand between pop and peek. Peek means you are looking into that, right? So it will get the top element from the stack. It won't remove. So if the stack is empty, this method usually throws an exception. Otherwise, you will get that. So just peek for that. So 20 it will return for you. But if both your stack will be there, both elements. So that is the push, pop, and peek methods. Is this clear? And I think this is good enough for us to start our our program. So this is the all push element adds an element to the top of the stack. A pop removes and returns the top of the element from the stack. Peek returns the top element without removing it from the stack. So these are the very, very important for us. Maybe I'll add this also to our blog because this is the very important. These three methods, if you know from stack, good enough. So you don't need anything. But so this common interview program to solve that, we need that. Okay. So that's why I just explained them. Let's get started. So protected, static, void, check, valid, parenthesis. So you can call parenthesis, you can call brackets, whatever it is, okay? Or I'll put a brackets. String str. Okay, so this is the, so program will write. The first thing is Step 1 is create the stack. Okay, create the stack. So stack, see the type you have to give. These are all no generic types. So it's a character you want. The character type st. I can give st. So you can create a stack equal to new stack. So first step is this one. Now the second step is you iterate the string. Okay, iterate the string with no converting into 2-char array. You can do that. So directly iterate the string, create the string for so character array. So data type of the array I'm taking the character colon str dot 2-char array. Basically, instead of writing here array, I'm just directly writing here. Right? You got all this no into array, all the brackets. Now check. So one by one. Okay, this character. So you need to write all those methods you need to use. So write all those methods you have to use. If this character is this bracket, okay, this bracket, and also the stack is not empty, and the first element is so this one, and then you can say you can just pop that. You can just pop from the no stack. So that's you have to write multiple if else conditions. So if the character is equal to so this bracket and yes, and the stack is not empty. Okay, and the stack is so is not empty and stack dot peak, right? Stack dot peak so is equal to so this one. If it is that one, then you can stack dot pop. So pop that element, you remove that element so that so it will be easy for you. So same thing you repeat for remaining brackets also. Else if so this logic you can build it. But I'll change the brackets, okay? The here brackets will be changed. Else if this one. Else I can put stack dot push that element. So I'm going to push that character. So what is that character? CH. So I think we are, yeah, we have to write some logic here, right? So this one, this logic, and also brackets is missing here. So this bracket you don't need. Okay, so now let me explain this one. This one bracket is done, curly bracket. So let's check the curly brackets. So each bracket you are checking basically. And here the square bracket. Okay. Yeah. So we're good now. See both brackets I'm checking. If that character is equal to this one and so the top one is this one and you pop it, you remove it. That means it's a valid. I'm just removing that. Okay. Then so you can simply say that it's valid. So right, the given so you can just print this. You can just print a stack. Otherwise, they just say the given string as valid brackets. We can just if you want, you can print that str. Right, it's missing something. The brackets. Oh, so one more bracket is missing. The method bracket. So this is the how you can check, and this is one of the very popular interview question. This one. See, it has to check. Now, see if I give. So you can put. Say here also. Stack event. And you can just put all the whatever I have given here, the inputs. You can check whether it is randomly. You can check a different whether it working or not. We need to test right after writing the code. So run this. So I'll remove this. Okay, we didn't write else bracket we have to write. Let me put Boolean value. Okay, I'll return Boolean is valid brackets. Put a false. I can reassign. Boolean. Okay, so we have to declare that is a Boolean. LGA typos. So return statement is here. So just see that what it is returning. We have to give uh, true or false we are getting or not. We need to see that. See, it is true. Something wrong here. Always returning true. It should not return true. We check. So what mistake we did? I think but behind this is the how you can check. The only the flagging is something wrong. The flag is we are making some mistake. Let me check that what flag we need we have to use. Okay. So this is the final one we have to give that. So no need of all this. Just stack. So this is the so you don't need all these things. So is empty method will if it is no valid and it is removing right every no say the one character and this character is equal. So we are removing them and this also you are removing that and this if it is there and you are removing that so that it will be empty. If it is empty it will return true not it will come here. So that's why let's see now what you are going to get it. So I'll just take different strings. Okay, so first I'll put this one. Second, I'll remove the end curly bracket is missing here. And here, I'll remove this one. Okay. So the all combinations we are trying here. This bracket I remove. Let me keep this curly bracket here. So here all is present. This is the invalid. This is also invalid. So I'm trying one by one. Let's see now. These two we should get a false because that's not valid. See, you're getting false because those are not valid. So because this bracket, starting bracket is missing, the remaining is there. And here, all these are correct, but the curly bracket is missing. And also the square bracket starting part is missing. So this is how you can check given string is uh, valid or not. This is one of the famous program regularly asked in the interviews. Okay, so please focus on this also. And the last one is I want to show you about. Okay, so properties file. The properties file is it will be key value pair format, right? So you can store all your configurations like your username, passwords, URLs, browsers, all you can store in the properties file. So let's create a first properties file. Okay, I'll create a file. So test data dot properties or config dot properties. People will give like this config dot properties. Your configurations basically you can store your configurations under this file. So like browser, Chrome, and URL. So you can specify whatever the URL you want. You don't need double quotes. Everything is HTTPS or linkedin.com. Okay. So then what else? Username you can store. I think this one will be colon. So username Ramesh QA online. So something, the password. So test at grade 1, right? So these are the properties you stored here. Okay, so these are the properties. This value will change anytime. You can give a different application URL, different browser, different username, passwords you can give. But so how can we read these values? So that is what we are going to do now. Let's create a new class to read these properties values. So read property file data. So for this, you can write your reusable method. One reusable method you can write, and then you can call in the main method, right? So I'll create one reusable method, public static string. This method should return a string type data. Get property value. So you have to give the key. So what key you want to give, you have to give that. So that's a return type method we have to write. And then first step is create object for properties class. So properties, so prop equal to new properties class. That's the first step. And the second step is, so you need to read the file. So you have to put the file somewhere, right? Here the file is there. Maybe you can put generally under resources. I'll move this to resources. Okay. So I'll move this under resources. Okay. Resources I'm keeping. You need to read from there. So read the config file. So how can you read? So to read, you have to use file f equal to new file. So and specify the file path. So how can you specify the file path? So src source. So this file path, right click and copy. There is a path. You have a copy path. Okay, so copy path. You can specify that. Okay, copy path only. Copy absolute path. Absolute path we don't need. We just need this content root. This is enough. Okay, just copy this. That's it. So you can just import this class. And we have file. So file input stream or file reader, anything you can use. File input stream you can use. FAS equal to new file input stream class. So you have to pass file object. Okay. So this is returning it throws some exception, add exception. So add the throws declaration, that is file not found exception. If this file is not there, so you are asking throws the declaration. And then load all the properties. So now load all the properties. So prop dot load method is there. For that load method, you have to give a FAS object. And this is also throwing some exception. So add that throwing. So IO exception. So that IO exception I added. Now you can return prop dot get property. There is a method get property, and you can give just a key. So whatever the key you give, that will return that key value for you. So that's what. So this is the code, simple code. Step 1, create object for properties class. Step 2, create object for file class and pass the file path. And then step 3, create object for file input string. These two are used for reading the data from the file. And then step 4, load all the properties. So with a load method in the properties class, this load method is there. And from get property method, whatever the key you give, that key value it will fetch by get property method and it will return to you. So now you can call so all the things. See, I want a browser value. So I'll just call this method, that's it. So I don't need anything, just call this method and pass your key value. So what is the key? The key is, so browser, exactly it should match with this. So this one, same, it should match that one, sorry. Browser, just give that, this one. So this method is throwing some exception, right? So wherever you are calling, there also you have to declare or add throws declaration. So I'm adding that throws declaration. That's it. So let's execute this, whether you are getting a Chrome browser or not. We'll see that. See, you're getting Chrome. Browser value is Chrome. Like that, you can reuse this code. And you don't need, for example, if you want to fetch another value, then directly you can fetch. Just call the method. That's it. Return type methods you can call directly, right? See, I can call URL value. So just give here URL. And here you can just give username. And just you have to pass these values. These values you have to pass. That's it. Other than that, nothing. Okay. See, now you got all the values one by one. See, browser value, URL, username. See, if I change here, you don't need to change this code here. See, if I change here, instead of browser, I'll put Firefox. And this one, I'll just put the username and I'll add this one. So you can just use that. So automatically, see, even that password, if you don't use it, is no. So giving you some error, not error, but so it has some problem there. See, now once you use that, this color is showing, right? Here it is not showing. So if you use that, it won't show that error. See, now you go there and see it will it won't show that error. So yeah, once you consume that, it will be good. Okay. So now let's call this. See, the latest where you updated in the file, but you didn't touch this code and it is working perfectly fine. Okay. So that's the advantage of this properties file. So this is the regular code and ready-made code. Anywhere you can use. Same code I'm going to use in our frameworks. If you want to read, there is a configurations for every project. Configurations will be there. Global properties. All those properties you will store in the config.properties file, and you have to read. How can you read? This is the interview question also. How can you read data from config.properties? You have to write this code. You need to tell this, all these steps you have to tell. So they will ask you to write this code. Okay. So please practice all this. Then we are good. Okay. So one more simple one. There is a enum concept is there. And I have to create a enum. Let me create a directions. So this one is you have to put a enum. So enum means basically the constants will be declared here. So for example, east, west, north, south. So basically any constants, if you want to declare, you can use enum thing. So if you want to access these enum values, right? And can call, maybe I can call in another place. Okay. So let's create a new class. enum demo. So I'll call here. Okay. So now how can you call this this enum? See, E for enum. Okay. How can you call that? So for example, so enum values you can call with enum name dot field. So I want a east value. So how can you call that? What is the enum name? Directions, right? Dot, see all the values it is showing. You will get that value. See, it will print that. So east will print for you. See, east is printed. Okay. So this is the enums. Just store all the constants. And how can you access them? So the enum name dot field, because this is one of the concept we have in Selenium. That's why I'm explaining this. All keyboard constants, they stored in the one keys enum. Here, instead of directions, they use their keys. All the keyboard keys will be there. Tab, caps lock. How can you call that? Means keys dot enter, keys dot shift to, keys dot control, keys dot F9. All functions, all keyboard keys you can access. That's why I'm showing this. Okay. See, keys dot the enter key, keys dot shift key. So here my enum name here is a directions. That's why directions dot the constant. Okay, so this is the another use case widely we are going to use in Selenium. So this one and this reading properties file, another very useful one, and map concepts are important in Selenium. Okay, so that's all Java, and so you have one more week time. Please focus, and it will help you to understand Selenium very nicely. Without Java concept, Selenium is very, 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 very difficult. Okay. Yeah. So any